Hello and welcome to Nectar Guzzling Hummingbird. That's right, just look at this fella here. He's guzzling down and loving that nectar that this flower is producing. Hey, this is a on your own problem, so you should have completed the entire problem, and now you're just watching this video to make sure you did it correctly. So here is the scenario. You are an ornithologist. That's a scientist who studies every aspect of birds, including their songs, their flight patterns, their physical appearance, and their migration patterns. Today, you are studying the beautiful hummingbird. Here he is. And this bird has drunk 703 milligrams. Let's just go ahead and write that down. And there you have it, 703 milligrams of nectar in just 76 hours. On average, how many milligrams has this bird drank per hour? So that's 703 milligrams, and it's divided by, oops, got to get the divided by, or the pen here, divided by 76 hours. So, without further ado, let's do this problem. Alrighty, so the first thing I want to do is create my area box. Now remember, I want a rather long area box because I happen to know that right now we're working with our answer, which is going to go into decimal points. So I want to have plenty of room for my number to go in here, and then also to be able to add some zeros after the decimal. So made an area box that's a good sized, and I'm going to put 703 right inside that area box. And then on the outside, I'm going to bring my divisor down here and put it right outside the area box here, 76 right there. And next, I'm going to look at these two numbers, and since 76 is actually going to get rounded off for my estimation, I'm not going to use 76. I'm going to round this off to 80. So I'm going to just plug an 80 right up here and circle it, because when it comes to all my estimations, I'm going to use 80 to estimate how many times 76 would go into the numbers here. So the next thing I've got to do is write counting by the numbers for 6s, 7s, and 8s. I'm going to do that right now. And here we have it, counting by 6s, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60. 7s would be 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, and 70. And finally our 8s, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, and 80. So when I'm looking at this, the 76 cannot fit into 7, and it can't fit into 70. So I'm looking at the whole 703. I'm going to use 8 to estimate how many times it'll go in there, or actually this 80. So that means this 8 is going to be have a 0 behind it for 80. So this will have they'll all have zeros behind them. So this is 80, 160, 240, 320, 400, 480, 560, 640, and then 720, which would be too much here because I got 703. So I've got to drop back to the 640, which means I'm going to multiply this by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I'm going to put an 8 right here and drop my 8 right there. And now I'm working with the real numbers here instead of my estimation. So I'm going to take 8 times 6, and all I have to do is I can use either my 8s or my 6s. So I'm going to go ahead and use my 6. I'm going to count 8 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I get 48. I'm going to drop the 8 and carry the 4. So I'll drop the 8 right here, drop that 8 right there, and I'm going to carry the 4 right above that 7, because I got to add it in after I multiply by the 7. So watch, now I go 8 times 7, and I'm going to come up here and count 8 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I get 56 but I got to add the 4 in here. So that's going to give me 60. And I'll circle the 4 and just write the 60 here. And then I'm going to subtract. Now, I didn't mention it earlier, but if you make any mistakes along the way, simply pause the video and fix your mistakes. That's the fastest way to learn. And there you go. Okay, so now I'm going to enlarge this so I can do my subtraction. The first thing I always do is look for any trouble coming, and I got it right away because I cannot take 3 and subtract 8 from it. So I'm going to borrow not from this, but from the 7 here. I'm going to turn this 7 into a 6, turn this into 10, but then borrow from the 10, turn it into a 9, so I can take a group of 10 here and make 13. And now I am good to go. I got no more trouble coming anywhere. So I'll add my second area box here. And remember, I'm making these area boxes plenty big so I have room to add zeros if I need to afterwards. At any rate, let's go ahead and do our subtraction. I got 13 minus 8, which is going to give me 5. I got 9 minus 0, which is going to give me 9, right? And so I'm going to add my 9 right here. And then I've got 6 minus 6, which is going to give me 0. And the first thing I always do is check to see, and I can take 76 and put it into the 95. So I'm going to actually add another 1 above here, and 1 times 76 will just give me 76 here. And that's all good, my friends. So I'm just going to go 1, and then 1 times 76 will give me 76 right here. I'm going to drop that in, and then once again, I'm going to check for trouble coming. I got it right away. So I'm going to borrow from the 9, turn that into an 8, and turn this into 15. And now I'm good to go because I got no more trouble coming. So I will add another area box. So I'm going to do that right here. And add my, whoops, that's not the color I wanted. I want to use the blue. And I'll add an area box right in there. And now I can simply subtract. And 15 minus 6 is going to give me 9. So I'll drop my 9. And 8 minus 7 is going to give me 1. So I'll drop a 1 right there. And now I double check again, and 19 is smaller than 76. So that means, now normally I would just add these up and then this would be my remainder. But once again, remember we're going into the decimal. So I'm going to add a decimal to all of these, and we're going to go all the way till we zero it out. So I'm going to do that right now, and I'm going to add a decimal here and a 0 and a decimal here and a 0, and then all these are going to get a decimal and a 0. And the reason that works, if you remember, is that anytime I multiply by 0 for this one or this one, I'm just going to get a row of zeros here. So that will work out fine. So now I am estimating, once again, I've got the 76 that I'm rounding off to 80, and I'm going to estimate how many times that 80 will go into 190. So let's come back up here, and we're looking here with our estimation number of 80. And remember, it's got a 0 behind it, so this is 80, 160, 240, and that's too much for the 190. So I've got to go with the 160, right? Which means I'm going to multiply by 1, 2. So I'm going to add a 2 right here above the decimal. And I'm going to actually move this so I have some more room here. I just put that right there. And I'm going to add, now I'm going to add a 2 above here, but it's really a 0.2, right? So now I'm working with the real numbers. I'm going to multiply 2 times a 6. And so I'm going to come across here and go 1, 2. That's going to give me a 12. So I'm going to drop my 2 and carry my 1. So I'll drop my 2 right here. Drop my 2. Whoops, I need the marker. Drop the 2. And I'm going to carry the 1 right up there. And then I'm going to take 2 times 7, which gives me 1, 2, 14. But I got to add this 1 in here, so I get 15. And then I'm going to drop my 15 right there and subtract. The decimal gets dropped. You don't really have to worry about it when you're doing it this way. You just keep it right in line with the decimals. And now I'm going to look for any trouble coming and then subtract. And I do have trouble coming, as you see here. I cannot take 0 and subtract 2 from it. So I'm going to borrow from this 9, turn that 9 into an 8, and then turn this into a 10. Now I am good to go. I've got no more trouble coming. So I'm going to add my next area box and make this one green. And we'll just bring it on down here. And I'm going to do the subtraction. So 10 minus 2 is going to give me 8. Oops, I want black, not green. Oops, I missed it. There we go. I'm going to get 8 there. I'm going to just drop the decimal. And then I've got 8 minus 5, which will give me 3. And 1 minus 1 is 0, so I don't have to do anything there. Now I'm looking at, I'm going to ignore the decimal point and just double check that 38 is indeed smaller than 76. Remember, you're ignoring the decimal for this estimation portion. And that means I need to add a 0 all the way down these. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to add a 0 here, 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 and just go all the way down with my zeros. And now I've got 380 that I'm looking at, right? So let's move on back up to our estimation portion. And I'm looking for 380. I'm going to estimate with my 80 here. And I've got 80, 160, 240, 320, and then 400. 400 is too much, so I'm going to come back here to the 320, right? 320. So that means I'm going to multiply by 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to plug a 4 in right here. Now, the thing is, though, let me bring this a little bigger. This 4 is actually, it's in the hundredths column, so it's actually a 0.04. So 0.04. But now I'm going to actually multiply with the real numbers here. So 4 times 6, and let's shrink this and make it big enough, which means I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to give me 24, and I'm going to drop the 4 and carry the 2. So I'm going to drop a 4 here, drop this 4, and I'm going to carry my 2 right there. And then I've got 4 times 7. So I'm going to come up here by my 7s and count by 7s. 1, 2, 3, 4 places. I get 28 plus 2 is going to give me 30. So I'm going to drop my 3 and my 0. And then once again, I'm going to take a look and see if I've got any, whoa, come back here, if I got any trouble coming. And once again, I do, right? So I got to borrow from the 8 here. And I'm going to turn that 8 into 7, and I'm going to turn this into a 10, right? So now I'm all good because I got no, whoops, oh my goodness, this is going crazy on me. So this is a 7, and this is now 10. And so I got no trouble coming here and none here, so I'm going to add my next area box, and let's do that right here. And then I'm going to take 10 minus 4 is going to give me 6. And then 7 minus 0 is going to give me 7. And I've got a decimal point here and a decimal point here. And the 3 minus 3 will zero out, so I don't have to do anything. And if you look here, I've got one more 76 that will fit exactly in there when I got these 2 decimals, because remember we're over here, 2 decimal places, right? So I got 1, 2, right? And I got 1, 2 here. So I'm going to just put another 1 right here, and that will give me 76 down here, because let's just do it. I've got 0.01, and then 1 times 76 will give me 76 right here. So I'm going to write 76 with my decimal, and that is going to zero out when I subtract those 2. So now all I have to do is add these going up like this, right? And I'm going to give myself a little more room here. And if I take this and add all the way up, I'm going to get 4 plus 1 is 5. And then if I add this all the way up, I'm going to get just 2. So I'm going to add my 2 in there. And then I'm going to bring up my decimal point. So I've got my decimal point right there. And then if I add these, I get 8 plus 1, which will give me 9 up here. And there you have it. Your answer is 9.25. So let's take a look at this again. I'm going to shrink this down. And your question was that, hey, this beautiful hummingbird is guzzling nectar, right, from all the different flowers, this one in particular. And he guzzles 703, how many is it? Milligrams, right? 703 milligrams of nectar, and he does it in 76 hours. So your answer is, on average, how many milligrams of nectar does he drink per hour? And he drinks 9.25 milligrams of nectar every hour. That, my friends, is how you solve this problem. If you made any mistakes along the way, once again, remember, all you have to do is pause the video, fix your mistakes. That is the fastest way to learn. Until next time, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you soon. Sayonara for now. And now, on to counting by the numbers. This is a great strategy for anybody who does not have all their multiplication facts memorized. Counting by threes. Ready? Here we go. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Counting by fours. Ready? And 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Counting by sixes. Here we go. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60. Counting by sevens, here we go. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70. And counting by eights, here we go. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. Counting by nines, here we go. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90.